Hi everyone, this is Caustic Turtle, and today I have a Skyrim build for you called the Hunter. First, I'd like to talk about the mods that I've been using for this build. We have some survival mods like Frostfall, Hunterborn, I Need, and Wet and Cold. For those of you that don't know, Frostfall is a mod that adds a cold survivability function to the game, so the colder you are, the harder it is to move, and eventually you'll either die or pass out based on your settings if your exposure is too high. Next, we have Hunterborn, which is a mod that allows you to harvest animals for their pelts, meat, and bones, and even turn the bones into some nice starting gear. Then we have I Need, which puts a thirst, hunger, and sleep deprivation system in the game. And then finally we have Wet and Cold, which adds water and chill textures to your character's model. For our next section, we have our armor and weapons. For the armor, I would recommend using either Hunter Archer armor or the Hunter's armor from Immersive Armors, and that is entirely because I like the aesthetic of it. For weapons, I like to use scope bows because I like to play in first person and to have a more limited UI. For our final section, we have a player housing mod called Hunter's Cabin of Riverwood, just to add a little bit more to the Hunter's aesthetic and mesh with the backstory. Thane Willowvale and her father were a couple of Bosmer that lived in a cabin outside of Riverwood. Thane was content to live out her days hunting and selling game with her father. However, one day, Thane was too sick to join her father on a hunt. Needing supplies, he set out on his own, leaving his daughter behind. As the weeks passed, there was no sign of her father returning. Refusing to believe that he was dead, Thane decided to use what her father had taught her and go looking for him. She had heard rumors of bandits gathering at the Embershard mine. Fearing that they might have captured him, she decided to start there. From a role-playing perspective, Thane can be seen as chaotic good. She will do whatever she can to help others. However, she still wants to maintain her own freedom and follow her own whims as she desires. For starting items on this build, I'd recommend a hunting bow, hunter armor set, hooded brown cloak, 40 iron arrows, a round face cover, small fur tent, woodcutter axe, 100 gold, venison, a water skin, and a hunting knife. Some of those are from mods that I have listed earlier. However, I will be placing a batch file in the description with all the vanilla items. Next, we have our skills. I like to play this one of two ways. The first is kind of an Oblivion-esque style in which these are the primary skills that I will be using. The second is more of a challenge run setup where these are the only skills that I will be using and I'm forbidden from using any other skills. So without further ado, let's get into them. We have Alchemy, Archery, Light Armor, One-Handed, focused on Sword, Smithing, both light and heavy, Sneak without the final increase to the dagger sneak attack, and then Speechcraft. This build has a stat priority of Stamina, Health, and then Magicka. Being a hunter, you are constantly running and stalking your prey. However, you are not being hit constantly unless something goes terribly wrong. And finally, you do not have any training in the art of magic, so Magicka is next to useless to you. The playstyle of this build is much like any other Sneak Archer build, using Alchemy to fortify abilities and create poisons, picking off the enemies from afar before they can get to you, and if they do get close, beat them to a pulp with a sword. Thank you everyone for watching. This is Caustic Turtle, and I will see you next time.